Hey everybody, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. For all things Vespa, check us out on the web, ScooterWest.com. So you're probably stumbling across this video because you're intrigued on how to set the valve clearance on your Vespa GTS 250, 300, GT 200. It even applies to the 150, 125 engines. It's all pretty much the same kind of steps. I have several videos in the past where I've covered this in much more detail. This video is part of a multi-part series of resurrecting, or not necessarily restoring, resurrecting a 2011 GTV 300 that needs some TLC. And we determined that we're going to pull the motor quite early on the project. So of course we're going to do a full service on this thing, a 24,000 mile service, and that requires setting the valve adjustment. So on the Vespa products, it's been this way for over 10 years now. Pretty much they're all the 4-valve liquid cooled motors about every 12,000 miles. On the HPE Vespa GTS, so that's a 2020 and newer US spec 300cc, or the 2019 and newer European, they do recommend it every 6,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers. What it translates to. So we're just going to go in here. We're going to replace these gaskets. They're all over 10 years old. A couple of gaskets that we're going to replace. This is one that a lot of people overlook, and it does leak sometimes. This is the breather cover, and that gasket's inexpensive. It's just an O-ring, 487,989. And then to do the valve cover gasket set, you have the large outer gasket. That's A29536, and then you're going to need 5 of these gaskets for the 5 bolts that retain the valve cover to the cylinder head, and they're sold individually, but the part number is 830249. That's the original Piaggio part number. You can see those little donuts, as I like to call them. After setting the valve adjustment, we're going to go ahead and replace the spark plug. I'll go with a kind of upgraded spark plug, the iridium tipped spark plug. That's going to be a CR8 EIB. If you're looking for the original double tipped, double electrode spark plug, that would be an NGK CR8 EKB. And either one works. They both probably give you about the same service life, in my opinion. But let's get right to it. First of all, let me show you some of the basic tools needed to do the job. So here I have a 3/8 drive T-handle. These are nice and speedy for removing fasteners on scooters versus using a ratchet. It's got a 5/8 spark plug socket on it. I have a speed handle that's got an integrated 10mm socket on it. You can use just a regular socket, whether it's 3/8 drive or 1/4" drive with a 10mm socket to do the job just as well. For adjusting the valves, the lock nuts will require an 8mm open-end wrench, and you're going to need feeler gauges with both 4/1000 and 6/1000 in standard, or 0.10 for the intake in millimeters, that is, and 0.15 millimeters for the exhaust. And you pretty much, these are just standard feeler gauges that are kind of specific for the motorcycles. You can look in the description of this video. We do have those available on our Scooter West web store. I have a T25 Torex driver and don't necessarily need an electric impact, but I have a 19mm and an 8mm socket to remove the belt cover. So go ahead and remove the dipstick. If you have an HPE model, it's not located on the left side of the motor. We're going to remove this cover right here. On the HPE models, they do have a plastic belt cover over top of the metal belt covers under there. Tool ETC is the pin tool that goes right in here. I've covered that several times in the past on many of the comprehensive service videos for belts and changing your belt. But if you're going to use an impact and you have the rear tire clamped, not really an issue. 19mm socket, and you zip that right off. There is a washer under there. I'll get to that in a moment. Next, I'll put in an 8mm socket, and we'll just go to town on the 11 fasteners that hold the belt cover. Keep track of them. The lower ones are a little bit longer. And once you move to these frontmost fasteners, you have a clamp for your coolant line. Oh, jeez. A little bit of rust in there. Might replace that fastener. And that's a little bit longer screw. And the ground strap, it's got the same size screw. And already removed are the brake hose clips. I already had those removed when I pulled the motor off. So keep all those hardware separated. Sometimes the belt cover, since I did see a little bit of rust coming out of this, you're probably likely going to have a little bit of a problem. And there's two spots where there's dowel pins located. So there's a dowel pin under here, and it's definitely got a little bit of rust. Use a little chisel or a flat blade screwdriver to get behind the tab. So if the dowel pin is stuck on the rearmost part of the belt cover, you could send a large, long screwdriver right through the back of your the wheel and go ahead and pop that off. So belt cover separated. And that's not uncommon. Once you have an older scooter, some fasteners are a little bit more difficult to remove. Got that washer, keep track of that. And go ahead and separate the belt cover here. So we're going to go ahead and replace the gasket under here. And before you take the valve cover off, it's easier to remove these screws from this plastic breather. I'm using a T25 Torx driver. Sometimes they've used Phillips screws on these in the past. Older models. So go ahead and pull that breather off. So you can see the O-ring is quite flat in here, and that's why when they get heat cycled so many times they flatten out and they just don't quite seal as well, so that's why you'd replace that part. Now we'll move on to the valve cover fasteners. 10mm, just kind of break them off free. And when you pull the screws off, these are specialized screws, they'll take these gaskets off with them. You can see they're rather flattened just from the aging and heat cycles of the engine. So you may have a valve cover that's been on here for several years and it's quite stuck with the gasket. Take care not to hit the injector or anything. And just give it a couple strikes with a dead blow hammer, and then you're able to pull the valve cover away. See the gaskets kind of staying behind. Pull that away. We'll go ahead and replace that. And now we've revealed the valve train of the scooter. So we're going to go ahead and pull the spark plug out. It's a 5/8 drive. That's going to make the motor easier to turn over because you're not fighting against the compression of the engine. And you can see a little bit of wear on that spark plug. It's not the worst condition I've seen. And go ahead and you could turn the crankshaft pulley counterclockwise. And I'll just show you the valves actuated. So it's on the exhaust stroke. The lower valves are exhaust. The upper valves are going to be your intake. So keep on rolling through. And on the side here, you'll see first you'll see a 2V mark. That's for the 2-valve engine because this pulley or this timing sprocket is used on both the 4-valve and the 2-valve engines. So we get the arrow that says 4V aligned with this little center spot right here. So the upper two intake valves, I can tell you right now, I could just about get, or no problem at all, I can get a 6,000 or 0.15 millimeter thing. So they're just a little bit on the loose side, both of them. This one I probably can get almost double the clearance. You know, almost get the twice the clearance. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten both valves. So we'll give you a nice drag on the 0.004 or 0.10. So you can see that's just wobbling all around in there. Still enough to hold it. And we're gonna have an 8mm wrench. Just go on your lock nut and have a flat blade screwdriver handy. And hold the screwdriver stationary while you break the nut free. So once you have the nut free, what we'll do is we'll tighten the screw and you feel some tightness, and then just back off just a little bit. And the perfect amount is where this just drags. You just have a little drag, and I'm able to slip it back in there without any issues. So that's the right clearance right there. And you can have a little slop in there, you know, plus minus 1,000, you'll be fine. So go ahead and hold the flat blade screwdriver stationary and go ahead and tighten the lock nut, and then double check your work. Make sure you can still get it in there, and make sure you can't get the next one up in there. So I could probably, if I really push that in there, it would go in, but it takes quite a bit of resistance to get in there. So right now I can get the thicker one in this one, no problem. And the correct clearance, the 4,000ths or 0.1 millimeters is very loose right now. So and repeat the same steps. You can see where that flat is indexed is about the 11 o'clock position, and we'll see where it ends up being by closing up the clearance. So we're right about noon to get it right at the correct clearance. So it's right at about the 12 o'clock position. So that's how much, it's not much that you need to turn these to make the adjustment. And when you have a problem with the motor, typically, is when you have zero clearance. So it's holding the valve open, so you don't have a perfect seal on the valves, and that's when you end up with idle problems on a scooter, and it will eventually burn the valve. So right here, our exhaust, I can see the 5,000ths fits in there just fine. Let's see if our 6,000ths or 0.15 millimeter fits in there. And usually exhaust valves go tight, so I can tell that's tight. It takes there's a little bit of a drag on that. Not much. I would say that one's probably fine. This one I'm really fighting to get the feeler in there, feeler gauge in there. So it maybe just needs to be opened 1,000th of an inch. So again, the exhausts are always a larger clearance on the Vespa motors. So I just opened it, and now I can drag this through it just fine. And while I'm here, I might as well go on the looser end of the scale, because that is a pretty tight drag. So we're just going to open it just ever so slightly. And now it's a nice drag, but I can't get the 0.20 or 8,000ths in there. So the 8,000ths is not going to fit in those. So they're both now set to the correct clearance. You could turn the whole motor over 360 degrees or 720, 2 turns, and double check if you like. But I think we're all set. We're going to go ahead and replace all the gaskets in this valve cover. So the 829-536, which is the large gasket, don't really need to put any grease on it. It has a nice groove that the gasket just sits right in. And you make sure it's all the way in the groove. You don't want it to get pinched during installation. And it's pretty much seated all the way around. Looks good. So go ahead and rest the valve cover on the head. We're going to take those 5 830-249s and just go ahead and put them on to the bolts for the valve cover. So you got 5 of those. Just go ahead and slip them right onto the bolts. And kind of just hold get them all started. And it's not too critical on torquing these valve cover bolts. Unlike a head bolt where it's a very critical torque, the way these work is it's all rubber cushioned, and that's what kind of puts a spring clamping force onto the gasket to make it seal. But I do go between them, you know, crisscross. And at this point, you just turn it, and you'll all of a sudden feel the bolt get all the way tight. And it's with that's just the gasket seating, and it will instantly feel like you're no longer kind of threading a bolt against rubber, because it's kind of got some friction to it, and now it just stopped, and that's all you need to go. So right when you turn and it feels like you hit a positive stop. That's when the shoulder of that bolt is bottomed out against the head. And this is a pretty standard design for a lot of different valve cover gaskets, both on automotive and motorcycles, scooters. And it's also a very good design because it keeps a constant clamping force on those rubber gaskets, and they stay sealed for quite a long time. Next, we're going to put the 487-989 gasket onto the breather, and just like the valve cover, it's got this nice little groove right here. Go ahead and set that new round gasket in there. Sometimes you will need a little bit of grease to keep the gasket in place. These plastic housings seem to hold up pretty good, so not really an issue. So go ahead and set that in place. And put the screws all back in, and I would just get them all threaded, or at least 2 of them, so everything stays aligned. And the remaining 2 screws. And this pretty much kind of sums up doing the valve adjustment. We'll put the spark plug in. Later down the road on the next videos, I'll be replacing the drive belt and servicing the complete transmission. We got the water pump we're going to service on this engine. So I notice it's a little noisy. It's not leaking, but I can hear a little noise from it. So. And all these jobs I've done in the past, either on the full comprehensive engine rebuild video I did about 5 years ago. I tore a couple of these motors all apart all the way down to the bare bones, every single part, and laid it out and reassembled. They're quite long videos, or just some of the basic service videos, you know, doing a 6K service on the Vespa GTS 300 HPE. Kind of covers the whole steps of doing a valve adjustment with the engine in the frame, which is a little bit different than the way I'm doing it here. So on an iridium or double ground electrode spark plug, there's no need to gap the plug like an old-fashioned spark plug. The only reason you may want to check is if the spark plug was dropped. These iridium tipped spark plugs have a very fine electrode, and they're easily damaged if you did attempt to gap it. Spark plugs always have this little crush washer in here that smushes quite a bit and makes a positive seal with the head. So, you know, installing and removing spark plugs several times, you end up wearing out that gasket. They're not really designed to be pulled out several times. I like to always start a spark plug by hand, because the last thing you want to do is damage the threads in the head. Get it like about 2 turns, and if it's going smooth 2 turns, you're no problem. If it's in the bike, you can put a rubber hose on it and kind of get an angle on it to spin it. Obviously, you got a nice straight shot with the motor out, nice and easy. Put the 5/8 drive socket on there. You can see my wrench is stopped, the gasket is seated. I'm at like the 12 o'clock position, and typically you'll turn it another 1/4 turn on a brand new gasket, and that's usually the correct torque for a small spark plug like this. So know it's all torqued in there. Don't want to over torque them, and you don't want to under torque them. So there you go. There's a basic summary on how to adjust your valves or check them, replace the gaskets in the valve cover, replace the spark plug. Obviously much easier with the motor out. Until next time, it's Robot here for Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. So if you're in the area, check us out in San Diego, California. Vespa Motorsport is our dealership here. If you're looking for parts to do this job, check us out on the web, Scooter West. If it's the first time you come across our channel, just type the word Vespa Motorsport in the YouTube search, and you'll be directed to our homepage on YouTube. And in that search, you can pretty much type any subject on modern or vintage Vespa, and I probably have a video out of the over 700 videos I've done in the past all about Vespas. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.